I had no idea that those little weeds in my front yard were actually good for me in any way. But we're going to learn about that today and how incredibly good they are for you with the help of naturopathic Dr. Kim Anderson. Kim, can you enlighten us on our simples topic today?
Hi, Joseph. I was actually going to open up this podcast with a question of, Joseph, what do you think of whenever I say the word dandelion? But I think you already made that clear.
Yeah, I know.
So, like most people, when you think of a dandelion, they think of a weed. And it's interesting. Ralph Waldo Emerson actually wrote, weeds are plants whose virtues have not been discovered. So that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what many people see as a plant, as a weed, but there are a lot of medicinal properties in this plant that we're going to talk about today. So today it's going to be dandelion for our simples. Simple simply means that this is a medicinal plant. So, of course, some people think of weeds. Whenever I think of dandelion, my memory or my thought is the childhood memory of picking up the dandelion, the seeds, and blowing them, making a
Oh,
wish
yeah.
and blowing them. So I loved them as a child, very fond memories of that, but I love it even more as an adult and knowing the medicinal properties that it has. Dandelion has been known by other names like puffball, lion's tooth. Now, here in Oklahoma, I've not ever really referred to them as called that, but I can understand why they would be. Obviously, the seeds look like a puffball. Lion's tooth is interesting because the name dandelion actually comes from the French word meaning dent de lion, and I'm sorry, my Okie accent probably just totally botched that up.
Sounded good
Um,
to me.
but it means lion's tooth. So that's because the leaves have edges on it that resemble a tooth. So that's how it got its name. Um, it's very interesting because dandelion is, even though we refer to it as a weed most of the time now, it is actually believed that in scripture, when it talked about bitters in the Old Testament, in Exodus, it talks about the bitter herbs, and it is believed that dandelion is one of those bitter herbs. And
Hmm.
what we use bitter herbs for today are to increase digestion. I don't know if you've ever, whenever you eat something bitter, what is one of the first responses that you have? Your mouth begins to water. That's your body creating those enzymes to help break down. Enzymes help with digestion. So bitters are really important for digestion. And that's something that dandelion is really beneficial for. It's written record of the uses of dandelion. They go all the way back to the 10th century. So even though nowadays many people think of it as a weed, it has actually been in play medicinally for quite some time. In fact, Nicholas Culpeper, he was a physician and herbalist in the 17th century. He believed that this was something, he referred to it as, it was very effectual for the obstruction of organs. He included the liver, the gallbladder, the spleen in that. He considered it something both cleansing and healing. Today, in the health patch, if someone were to come in and say, I need something for edema, dandelion is something that we um, go to right off. And edema is that swelling, the holding on of fluids. We might see that in hypertension, or some other issues where we need to get that fluid flushed out. And that's where dandelion works beautifully. It's a beautiful diuretic. But unlike pharmaceutical diuretics, it doesn't deplete the body of minerals. In fact, the plant is full of minerals. The flowers has vitamin A, vitamin B2, and minerals. The leaves
So wait,
contain,
but you could go out there and pick the yellow flower and just bite the head right off and eat
yes, you can, in theory. I
it.
always want to say, obviously, dandelion is rampant in North America. You can You can go out and find it just about anywhere, but be careful about picking it and eating it, simply because we don't know what's put into the ground. Where I live, I live just a few miles from Eagle Industries. I don't know if you're familiar with that. The Daily Oklahoman several months ago had ran an ad or ran an article about Eagle Industries dumping chemicals into the ground. And so in my area, it was probably about 6 months after that article. This was about a year after the residents in that area found out. I was driving close to where I live, and I saw two ladies out there picking the dandelion. And my first thought was, oh, that's so great. They're going to take advantage of those medicinal properties. And then immediately I thought, oh, I may need to say something, because I would feel very concerned about anyone, utilizing plants when there could be potential toxins in the ground. So yes, to answer your question, you can, in theory, go just pick it up out of the ground and utilize the health benefits, but just be very careful about making sure that the plants haven't been sprayed, because a lot of
Right.
people are trying to get rid of those weeds, remember. So you want to make sure that the plants haven't been sprayed or anything like that. But yes, in theory, go pick that, put it on a salad. Leaves have been known to be put on salads. They have a lot of health benefits for that. The root is very beneficial. The root has even been used as a coffee a coffee replacement. So if you're wanting some health benefits and you're trying to cut down on caffeine, dandelion roots, crush those up. So they also, the dandelion root has inulin, and inulin is something that helps grow the good gut bacteria. So, again, very, very beneficial for health. And I don't know if you've ever done this, but have you ever heard of dandelion wine?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
You have? Okay. Several years ago, my son decided he was going to make some. So it was a fun little experiment for him. But
Yeah.
if you go on our blog at the Health Patch, I have a recipe for dandelion wine. This is a recipe that is from the late Dr. Phil Fritchie. He was also a naturopathic doctor. And so that was just a fun little thing that I added on the blog this time. So I hope if you do that, I would love to hear back, get some feedback on that.
Very nice. Now, did you taste it?
I'm gonna have to confess, I was a chicken. I did not taste it. It did not sound very appealing. So, but again, you're gonna get those great health benefits from utilizing dandelion. The vitamins, the minerals. It also, because it does have a cleansing effect, it can help with skin issues. So things like psoriasis and eczema can benefit greatly from the properties that we find in dandelion.
Very good. So I have a newfound appreciation for those pesky little weeds. Maybe
There you
I'll
go.
go a little easier on them in my mind.
There you go. Yes,
I might still
definitely.
try to kill them off, but
Yep. So the next time we talk, Joseph, I'm going to ask you. So when I say the word dandelion, what is the first thing that comes to mind? And it's not going to be a weed, right?
health benefits. All the ones
There
you
you
just said.
go. There you go. You're going to think of those virtuous plants, right? Those virtuous
Exactly.
plants instead of something to get rid of, something that's pesky. So,
Exactly.
yes, many
Very
health
good.
benefits.
All right. Well, I guess that brings us to a close. And so we hope everyone's learned something. Thank you, Kim, for sharing that information with us. Thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you next time.